Manga-Waido.
My name was Mazukatsu Tanaka. I'm 32 and single. I currently own a ramen store. The best ramen has to be the tonkatsu base with the original soup, made from only the finest fish cuisine. However, that wasn't enough anymore. A few years have passed, and there's a lot of competition building up. It was all heavy competition here. We were all working hard to bring in customers. There were stores who would work with talented idols to try to make their food look great for Instagram. Our store's not nearly fancy enough for that kind of marketing. Instead, we just send out flyers and just cook great ramen. Then, one night, right past 2 a.m., I was starting to wrap up shop and send home the part-time workers. When? Middle school? No. Elementary school? She was in raggedy clothes and came into the store. Welcome?
A junior-sized ramen, please.
A kid shouldn't be out this late all alone. I should have warned her, but she had a serious look about her, so I missed my chance. She looked terrified and barely spoke up. She had her reasons. Whatever. Let's just get her to eat first. I gave her a little extra beef slices just for her.
Thank you.
She thanks me before eating. What a proper girl. I was watching her eat out of the corner of my eye, and I couldn't bring myself to believe she was an elementary schooler. I didn't really do a great job working with customers, but I had to talk to her. Are you in middle school? Maybe you're studying for entrance exams?
I'm a freshman in high school.
Freshman? I figured you were younger. Oh. Sorry. Is this sexual harassment?
Oh, it's fine. I get that often.
She kept quietly eating her ramen. She was skinny and was small and somehow a high schooler. What kind of house did she live in? Where are her parents? Do they know she's not home? How is it?
It's delicious.
That's good. I hated myself for lacking communication skills the most now. If I could just get the conversation to flow, I might have been able to eke out an answer from her and help her out. She finished the soup and said thank you for the meal. She really knows her manners. I was impressed when she suddenly changed her attitude when it came time to pay. I had no idea where she pulled it out of, but she had a pair of scissors pointed at me.
I'm sorry. Please call the police.
Her hands were trembling. I could see that she was seriously troubled and so malnourished. Is she trying to threaten me? I was actually a little relieved. This gave me a chance to talk. Police, huh? I'll call them, but why don't you calm down first, huh? If something's on your mind, why don't we talk about it? I tried being kind to her. She was silent, but eventually dropped the scissors and collapsed as if she had just been gut punched.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have nowhere to go.
She said her name was Yuka Motomura. I figured I would take her to the police, but this time she said no. I didn't want to throw her out into the streets, so I took her back to my place. I heard more from her, and I could feel the fury building within me. Both of her parents had no interest in raising her, and gave her just enough to not die. They let her do whatever she wanted, and they always went gambling.
I know it's weird. That was just a normal thing at our house. But sometimes I really just couldn't get over it.
I completely understand why you'd be upset. Listen to me, Yuka, you can't stay there. I decided to let her in on my secret as well. I actually spent my childhood in similar circumstances as yours.
You too?
Yeah. It's still painful to remember. My parents were just like hers and had no interest in raising me. They left me some money and vanished for days on end, so the city council actually brought it up as a problem. So the city council chief actually helped me out by calling a certain facility.
A facility?
A place that would protect kids like us. If you want, I can show you too. You don't have to give me an answer right away. She thought about it for a second before
I want to go.
answering me. It was a few days before the faculty members had contacted me.
Yuka is a great kid. She's getting along great with the regulars here.
I think she'll be alright going forward. Afterwards, Yuka's parents had received some warnings from the social workers with regards to their negligence. From what I heard, they were pretty close to being charged with criminal negligence of a minor. They knew that they had little to no experience or capacity to raise a child, so after being instructed to attend some courses, they changed slightly. However, they were a little hesitant to rekindle their relationship with Yuka, and so they would support her, without directly intervening further in Yuka's life. 4 years passed after the whole incident. The area was opening and closing with new ramen stores. Our store was pretty rough, and I'm sure the regular stores would have closed down by now. The only reason that the other competitors are still even down here are from the aggressive marketing towards pop culture. The main company, being big and able to use its connections, is tough to beat. We really had to do what we could to fight back. However, the only thing I could think of was keep making better tasting ramen. I know, I need to be smarter. It was just as I was struggling to stay afloat. Excuse me, do you have a second? A man claiming to be a famous YouTuber's assistant. We're currently in production of a program that introduces stores that aren't as famous as they should be. The YouTuber is Yuri Takamiya. Maybe you've heard of her. Is it okay if I interview you? I mean, sure. That'd be great. I gotta warn you though, I'm not really well versed in the blog sphere, so... Oh, don't worry about that. We're gonna take care of all that. Hey, he says it's fine. Come on in.
Hello! I was so worried you might say no.
This girl must have been Yuri Takamiya. She was young and bright. She seemed likable and was definitely beautiful. She came to me in the kitchen. I was a little confused as she started staring at me. She bowed deeply.
It's been a minute. Thank you for all your kindness.
Huh? You came by before? I think I'd remember a beautiful girl like you.
What? You forgot? Remember the girl who stuck a pair of scissors in your face 4 years ago?
What? You're Yuka? That same girl?
Yes, I'm that girl that was trying to get away without paying.
After she graduated high school, she started working as an office worker at a food company.
My hobby actually took off into YouTube, and people started liking my content. Then my company actually wanted me to go further too.
I actually work in the same company as well. I said she's cute, so we should use her as our talent as well. I was glad to hear that she was getting along well at her company.
I think I'll be able to make a great video here, so please make me another bowl of ramen.
Oh, sure thing, Yuka. I always try my best to make ramen for my customers. However, there was a lot more emotion charged behind my meal this time for Yuka. She was a different girl. She was healthy.
Oh, it's so good. It's better than the ramen from back then.
She couldn't stop eating. She looked so happy and began to cry. Maybe she remembered how tough times were back then. After the interview, she'd taken care of the bill and we shook hands.
I'll come again. I've eaten lots of foods, but this is hands down the best ramen I've ever had.
Thanks. I'm glad to hear that. It's even nicer coming from none other than Yuka. There were fans of hers who started showing up at the store a few days later. It was a heavy influx. Welcome. We only have counters open at this moment. Is that all right?
This is the store that Yuri Takamiya recommends, right?
Ah, there's the tearful episode seed. That episode that Yuka had uploaded of her crying while eating my ramen was considered the top episode. I wasn't sure where the information was leaked, but people who knew her all cried when they heard about her past. Because of that, it started getting tougher for Yuka to actually come by. Just kidding.
Good afternoon!
Oh, hey Yuka! Whoa! It's Yuri!
The real Yuri Takamiya!
If anything, she started coming to the store more frequently. Our store was one of the most likely places that you could run into Yuri Takamiya.
The usual, please.
Coming right up! Thanks for coming by as always. You've really helped me out.
Oh, please. This is the least I could do for you.
What do you mean? This is plenty.
Come on. I need to be thanking you. If you hadn't saved me that night...
It's true, I had no idea what would have happened to her if she kept getting neglected. And to think that there were still kids who were experiencing this kind of pain. Let's get past the emotional stuff. Here you are, your ramen. Eat up!
Whoa, it looks amazing! Thank you!
I saw Yuka smiling on the other side of a steaming bowl of ramen. She always eats my ramen like it's her last meal in the world. I'll continue to work hard for girls like her.